Hello, my name is Netta Elias Lambert, and I'm a member of the Council on the Role and Status of Women in Social Work Education. And I'm excited to present the Violence Against Women and Children Manuscript Award. The annual Violence Against Women and Children Manuscript Award is awarded to the author of the manuscript that most advances feminist knowledge in the field of violence against women and children. The purpose of this award is to recognize outstanding scholarship of early career scholars working in the area of violence against women and children in social work education. On behalf of the Council on the Role and Status of Women in Social Work Education, I would like to present the Violence Against Women and Children Manuscript Award to Dr. Saltanat Childress. Dr. Childress is an assistant professor at the University of Texas at Arlington School of Social Work. Dr. Childress's research focuses on the prevention of interpersonal violence across the lifespan, with a focus on populations in low and middle income countries and immigrant and refugee populations in the US. Congratulations, Dr. Childress. Can you please tell us about the manuscript and your practice and education experience related to feminism and womanism?
Well, thank you very much, Nada. I really appreciate this question. Women's issues have been systematically ignored in the cultural context in Kyrgyzstan, which is very patriarchal and traditional, which gives husbands and mothers-in-law an inordinate level of power over wives. And as the paper points out, one of the cultural reasons for this control is because wives go to live with their husbands' families and are expected to become almost like a property or slaves to the husband's family. And this cultural construct is enforced through another norm that the birth family does not want to take them back, even when they're being abused, because that is viewed as bringing shame on the birth family. So women, especially poor, less educated and rural women, are often left in this situation of extreme vulnerability because of this patriarchal structure of the family. And so what we're trying to do with this thrust of research is to pull the curtains back on the reality of women's lives and the reality of these cultural constructs by listening to their voices and understanding what they're going through. And when we do that, it reveals the prevalence and the intensity of the violence against women and the lack of resources to deal with it and the cultural structures that perpetuate it and legitimate it over time. And what comes out are stories of immense suffering and pain, stories of incredible endurance, and stories of women who have risked their lives to leave these situations of abuse to protect themselves and their children. And so this is a very feminist and womanist project to do, to bring this different cultural lens and ideas about women's agency and empowerment, in this case, ideas which have been articulated earlier in the feminist movement and with more political support in the West. And we can use these perspectives like a spotlight to shed light on this and really then help start a much more informed and realistic discourse about women's situation is, about how it could change and how it could be prevented, particularly among vulnerable groups. And it's important to point out here that women's movement in Kyrgyzstan, although still quite small, has a really strong core of support and has been successful in getting legislation around family violence in the books. And so my research and policy reform work is an outgrowth and a support to that movement.
That's wonderful work. Congratulations again. On behalf of the Council on the Role and Status of Women in Social Work Education, we are excited to offer you this award.
Thank you very much.